Hello again, YouTubers, on with SpongeBob 101 back here again on the SpongeBob channel. Today we are reviewing the Patrick Star Show episode 17, The Drooling Fool, and Patrick's got a zoo loose. The synopsis states, Patrick's uncontrollable drooling gets out of hand and mouth. Also, a shape-shifting alien runs loose in the Star home. Let's dive right in. Starting with The Drooling Fool, the title basically sums up the entire plot here. It begins in Patrick's dream where he visits Frozen Falls, a water park where everything is made of ice cream. Of course, while Patrick is bewildered about all of the delicious ice cream, in real life he's just creating a pool of drool. Squidina wakes Patrick with a breakfast patty toy which Patrick eats, of course. However, Patrick's drool essentially becomes uncontrollable, and initially Squidina seizes the opportunity to put on an aquatic aerobics display with Patrick being the dancing drooler. The audience loves it and things go well till Patrick has to go to the bathroom and yanks open the door, allowing all of the drool which had been collecting on the set to flood the Star family home. Grandpat's segment is most unique in that he's actually watching a show where Patrick floods the house again, which really means he's watching reality, but okay. Attempts to plug Patrick up fail, and Perch Perkins is soon flying over the scene live with his grandma who's celebrating her birthday. She doesn't get much of a gift when the cork in Patrick's mouth dislodges and flies right into the chopper, taking it down. That is some drama right there. We are then introduced to Dr. Plumber, who apparently was Tinkle's pediatrician. It's really strange how sinks, toilets, and drains are essentially living beings in this environment. I'm not a fan of that. At the same time, Tinkle goes a little nuts and keeps attempting to bite people's butts. It starts chasing the Star family, who is now making an escape on the water surface using Patrick as a propulsion mechanism. Dr. Plumber manages to stop Tinkle in the nick of time and fixes Tinkle's brain, bringing it back to normal. Well, I'm also not particularly comfortable with the idea of Tinkle having a brain that's as big as probably a human's. Dr. Plumber also unclogs Patrick by fishing some hair out. I think it was hair. This was obviously opposite of what he was supposed to do, since Patrick's drool kept on coming. Eventually, the Star family decides to take the drool in their stride and use Patrick for water sports. The urinal cake from Dr. Plumber thing was pretty funny, but why'd he give one to Squidina doesn't make any sense. It was kind of like his getaway gift, like, I'm out of here. Yeah, so I don't think anyone should be eating any urinal cakes aside from Tinkle or toilet bowls. Squidina decides to create a new Patrick Show segment titled The Real Bikini Bottom Fire Department, where firemen use the drool from Patrick to put out fires. Pretty useful until his tongue comes off, kind of like a baby tooth. Patrick has a baby tongue too, and he just walks off with the fires raging in the background to end off the episode. So what a help, right? Also, again, fires underwater, really. The plot was strange, to say the least. The episode doesn't explain why Patrick is suddenly drooling to this degree, but at least they repurposed the drool to do something useful, whether it was the aquatic aerobics at the start or the firefighting at the end. The Tinkle segment felt out of place, even though it was used to introduce Dr. Plumber into the picture, and this episode really was just pure chaos. I did like the short ice cream dream introduction at the start though. It gets 6 out of 10. Animation gets 7 out of 10. While average for most part, I think there were some scenes that really stood out. Of course, Patrick having fun in the dream was cool, plus the aerobics display, the scene where Patrick is corked up and the drool is building up inside of him, kind of reminds me of SpongeBob in the episode Suds, and the dramatic plumbing of Tinkle by Dr. Plumber as the Star family cowers in fear. So yeah, unique characteristics get 7 out of 10. We got to see Perch Perkins and his grandma on her birthday, so that was cool. Patrick being used as a tool was fun in some situations, but Grandpat watching reality was probably the most unique thing here. That TV is a special one, just like the time machine. Overall, The Drooling Fool gets 20 out of 30 from me. Moving on to Patrick's Got a Zoo Loose. This one really focuses on the Patrick Show itself, with Nosferatu making an appearance as a guest along with Slappy. The next guest is Rube again, this time as Space Rube, and he brings along a whole bunch of alien animals. One of them, the Enigma Shapeshifter, also known as the most dangerous creature in the universe, gets loose and escapes as Squidina attempts to put makeup on it. And then we transition over to Patrick Star, Alien Space Hunter. I really like this concept and his costume, but the fact that all he subsequently did was just destroy stuff in the house with his space laser was, well, it left much to be desired. Squidina makes appearances throughout the episode as well, playing as Patrick's attorney, and this is pretty funny. She hands out like compensation or settlement checks without actual money, so the compensation comes in the form of like hugs or foot rubs or so on. The first scene features the shapeshifter transforming into a toaster, and Bunny makes a huge commotion because the toaster is actually working perfectly. So Bunny expects the toaster not to work perfectly. Wow, okay. While Patrick jets around the house, Space Rube has taken over host, and Cecil guest stars. Meanwhile, Patrick yells at Grandpad Hunt while he's hunting for the shapeshifter, of course, and it turns out that the Grandpad he was talking to was the shapeshifter. Grandpad got the shapeshifter to play him, basically. Grandpad should actually step up and do something for once, not just sit there and not do anything. We move on to the next segment with Patrick questioning furniture if they're the shapeshifter. So yeah, he goes around his house and questions them and then shoots them. So this culminates in the kitchen where the shapeshifter is hiding as a chair, and we get to watch Patrick beat the crap out of the dining chairs. Mindless destruction can be fun sometimes. I mean, especially the animation effect, right? Patrick gets injured by the splinters and lays down on the dining table, who then reveals itself to be the shapeshifter after all. Wow, plot twist here. Patrick pleads with the shapeshifter not to eat him because he's too dumb to die. He literally says that. Squidina comes in just in time and buys some time by challenging the shapeshifter to transform into certain things, culminating in an ice cream, which Patrick promptly consumes in one bite. Shapeshifter flavor too. We return to the Space Rube show now with Lazy Mary and an old lady baby Prunes, I think that was her name. The episode concludes with everyone, even the audience, turning into shapeshifter looking aliens. So what an ending. The plot could have been so much more, especially with the whole Patrick Star Alien Space Hunter concept. Instead, most of the episode is just random stuff happening and Patrick really just destroying stuff. Rube taking over as the host of the show for this one episode was random and inconsequential. Couldn't there have been like some commentary over Patrick's chase or something? That would make it a little bit more entertaining, right? Instead, we're just watching Patrick here. Yeah, some cool lines were said, and Squidina had lots of fun playing attorney, but really it was quite dumbed down, and everyone turning into aliens at the end was just weird. It gets 7 out of 10. Animation gets 8 out of 10. While the concept behind the alien hunt was not as well written as I had hoped, the animation did make up for it. The design of Patrick's costume and the portrayal of Patrick as a hero was really nice to see. Plus, the destruction really looked quite destructive, so I guess it did its job, especially with the final chair fights and the shapeshifter challenge. Unique characteristics gets 7 out of 10. Patrick being portrayed here as a hero is not a very common plotline, and I actually quite like it, probably because of how Starfish Man to the Rescue and Creature from the Krusty Krab was so impactful on me. We actually got to see more returning characters, ranging from Nosferatu to Lazy Mary, which was a plus. More hero Patrick, please. Overall, this gets 22 out of 30 from me. So that's all for this review video. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought about these two episodes. Make sure to subscribe, like, and I'll see you guys again real soon for the next SpongeBob video. Till then, bye!